It's Wednesday, August 16th, 2017. I'm Sam Sheffer, and this is my What's on Your iPhone, Sam video. But not this iPhone. We'll talk about this in a later video. This is my iPhone. It's a black iPhone 7, 128 gigs. My background is this nebula, and then my home screen is straight black. I think it looks cleaner this way, and it's sort of a tribute to the way older versions of iOS. I'm running iOS 10 on my iPhone 7, and if you follow me closely, you know that I was on iOS 11, and I'll tell you why I'm back on iOS 10 at the end of the video. But for now, apps on my iPhone. Let's start. Okay, to begin, let's swipe over and check the widgets. I have Dark Sky installed. It is my favorite weather app. I can tap in from there and see detailed weather. Highly recommend this app. The widget is great. And now for the apps that are on my home screen. So we've got FaceTime, that's pretty self-explanatory. I really like making FaceTime calls, although Apple, what happened to it being open sourced? You can only FaceTime between iOS devices. Will that ever change in the future? Probably not. Next is Calendar. I have the calendar on my home screen simply so I can see the date at a quick glance. And yes, to check calendar entries and that kind of thing, but I appreciate the glanceability here. Next is Photos. You know what Photos is. It breaks it down by albums. I really browse Photos in this Albums tab on the bottom right, and then I always kind of just look in the camera roll. And just as an aside, I'm gonna show you some iOS editing tricks that I feel like many people don't really know. So if you tap on a photo and then you hit this little settings button here and then you tap this icon right there, you can quickly change some of the settings of your photo. So I'm just gonna quickly tweak this here. So tweak the brilliance and then go back and maybe drop the exposure a little bit and then bump down the highlights. Maybe raise the shadows a hair. I'm just quickly blazing through this so you can see what you can do just on the iPhone. Black point, we can make that a little bit darker. And then what's neat is you can apply a quick filter, so we could do like fade, chrome. Chrome's pretty cool. So you go ahead and hit done. And then you can go in and see before and after. So I think editing on iOS is a quick and dirty way to edit photos. And I do use another photo editing app, and we'll get to that in a second, but the more you know. Camera, pretty self-explanatory. Take a quick selfie, turn this around, show you what's going on here, 6D Mark II. And I don't leave live photos on, and I don't leave HDR on. I only use HDR when I'm taking like really bright photos of the sunset, because then it's just taking two photos. You don't really need two photos all the time, in my opinion. Clock, also self-explanatory default app. This is where I set my alarms. I'm sure most of you do as well. Notes, this is how I manage my notes. It is the best way to do notes because it syncs with OS X or Mac OS, iOS. So if you've got notes on an iPad, if you've got notes on your iPhone and the desktop, works great. It really works in real time. I can create a note on my phone and within seconds it shows up everywhere else. App Store, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory also. And settings, I keep that on my home screen, also pretty self-explanatory. All right, now for downloaded apps, Twitch. If you follow me anywhere, you know that I've been going balls to the walls with Twitch, twitch.tv/Sam Sheffer. Hit me up there. We're playing a lot of PUBG. It is a great time. Please join me there. I think you'll have fun too. Anchor. Anchor is the best way to do podcasting. So if you didn't know, I have a podcast. It's called The Sam Sheffer Show. It's available on iTunes, Google Play, Overcast, wherever you download podcasts. My podcast is there. And you record them with Anchor. But what I do is I use an external microphone. I explained this in episode 1, I believe. But if you don't have a microphone and want to just record with your iPhone, you just go in here and you can hold the phone up to your face. You can use headphones to do it. And I publish to Anchor in addition to making the podcast. So using Anchor allows you to publish to iTunes. So either you could just like post to Anchor if you want and just have your Anchor followers hear what you're talking about, or you can take your anchors and then string those together and make an episode of a podcast. But Podcast has never been made easier. Anchor.fm/Sam Sheffer. Hit me up there. I know a lot of you do. I have over 1,000 podcast listeners already, and I've pushed it maybe 2 or 3 times on Twitter. So I appreciate you who listen to the podcast so far. Thank you. All right, up next, YouTube Studio. This is where you can see all of the beautiful, wonderfully laid out, kind of sarcastic, analytics for the YouTube backend. You could see your revenue, views, where your viewers are coming from. You could break it down geographically by age, etc. This is a pretty good app, although I prefer using the desktop version of Studio, but it's a great way to do it on the go. Next, Snapchat. Pretty self-explanatory, I think, right? Snapchat, most of you are on Snapchat. I'm Sam Sheffer on Snapchat also. And in case you're curious, there's my Snap score, 64,226. Add me on Snap if you want. I can't guarantee I'm gonna answer because I get a lot of messages here, but I still post on Snapchat. Twitter, good old Twitter. I've been on Twitter since 2009. I don't think Twitter needs any explanation. I use the official Twitter app on my iPhone. I use TweetDeck on my Mac, and I still need to make that TweetDeck video. But yeah, I love Twitter. I love tweeting. I've made some very good friends on Twitter. In my opinion, it is one of the best ways to connect in 2017, and it is one of the best ways to get news also if your feed is curated properly. YouTube, obviously, and fun fact, half of you watch my videos on mobile and the other half watches on some sort of desktop. That's a pretty interesting stat. So most of you are watching me on a tiny screen like this, and frankly, I watch YouTube videos on my phone too, either on the toilet or in bed. Instagram needs no sort of explanation whatsoever. It's probably what I think is the most kind of like used social network. I live in New York, so it's probably not a fair sample, but when I'm in an elevator, on the subway, walking in the streets, 7 out of 10 times, that person's on Instagram. Comment down below what your most used social media is right now. I'm curious. And yeah, Sam Sheffer on Instagram. And I'll say it. I'm Sam Sheffer everywhere on the web, so I don't need to keep saying Sam Sheffer here, Sam Sheffer there. It's Sam Sheffer everywhere. SAMSHEFFER. Discord. So Discord is something relatively new that I'm into right now. Ooh, Adam's online. So I've got a Discord server, which is basically like a modern day version of AOL Instant Messenger. It is kind of like Slack. It's kind of like HipChat. There's a bunch of different rooms that you can chat in. It's a place to come chat with other people of the Chef Squad. I think I've got almost 100 members in my Discord server, and I think I've literally promoted it once or twice on Twitter. If you don't know what Discord is, it's very simple to sign up. You make a username, and then you can join my server. And I'm online basically whenever I'm on the computer, which is a lot. So we have pretty good discussions in there. You can ask whatever you want in there, tech questions, what you should get at Sweetgreen. It's a great place to hang out. I highly encourage you to join me there. Discord, we're just getting started there. Gmail, I use the official Gmail app. I do not like the default mail app on iOS, and I've been a Gmail user for probably 15 years, I would say. Does that sound right? Maybe, yeah, I honestly think so. Gmail, my preferred way to check email on phone. Nike Run Club, so I'm running Hood to Coast with Nike in, a week from now. It is a 200-mile relay race between a team of 12. It's a race in Oregon, starts on Mount Hood, and we run all the way to the beach. And I'm pretty sure I have leg 1. So I've been crushing miles recently, 5 miles here, 5 miles, 5 miles. It's my preferred way to track my runs. I know Casey uses Strava. There's Matt My Run. I've been using Nike Plus, or Nike Plus Run Club as they recently called it, since 2012. Boosted. This app works with the Boosted board. And oddly enough, they don't have an Android version. So you can see, I'm gonna just unplug it here and you can watch instantaneously. It works because it's over Bluetooth. And now it's gonna scan for my board, connect 100%. And notice that the estimated range is 4.7 miles on, I think this is Pro mode, I believe. Yeah, it's on Pro mode. You can change modes through here, etc. If you watch my Boosted 2 review, you've seen this. And I've put about 1,100 miles on my Boosted 2 since I got it in March. And then V1 at home has 2,000 miles, I believe. Google Maps. So I use Google Maps when I'm riding my Boosted board to get biking directions. I don't use Google Maps when I'm in a Lyft or Uber. When I'm in a Lyft or Uber, I use Waze because Waze accounts for traffic in real time. And I know Google bought Waze and people say it's integrated. I have done direct comparisons where I see a Google Maps destination and I'm on Waze on my phone, and Google Maps can be, even if it's 5 minutes, Waze updates traffic in real time. It's my preferred way to use a GPS system in a car. Speed test, I'm obsessed with speed tests. I remember when I got my iPhone 5, when I'm pretty sure I was still at Rutgers in school, or maybe it was the year after, I can't even remember. And New Brunswick was one of the first cities to roll out LTE, and I camped out for the iPhone, so I got it super quickly, and I was getting like 45, 50, 60 down, and now in New York City, I'm just gonna run a quick speed test here. Granted, I'm in the studio, so I turn Wi-Fi off, and it's still gonna keep Wi-Fi on because I'm plugged in doing a screen recording, but I'm just gonna do a quick speed test here. So it says I have 5 dots of LTE. I believe that's to be 1 or 2, but let's see what T-Mobile is inside a building in Tribeca in New York City at, what time is it? 5:34 in the afternoon. Yeah, pretty slow. So about 9, 10, maybe it'll go up to 15. This number, if you have good LTE, it's like 45, 50. I used to do speed tests when I was running the Verge of Social. I'd be like, let's do a speed test. I remember seeing, I think it was Japan, specifically Tokyo, had like 120 down. And we're here chilling on 16, 20, 30. Come on. All right, last but not least, on my home screen. Remember, I just had to reinstall the operating system, so I only have the essentials on here right now, is ViscoCam. Visco is my favorite way to edit photos. I'm gonna take this selfie here and I'm gonna hit check. So with Visco, you can, you can do some straightening tools. You can bump the exposure, your general editing tools. You can change the skew to make it like, if you shoot, like this or tilt like this, you can change those tilts. It's really useful. I'm just gonna go to here and you can just like easily drop filters on here. Visco's filters are fantastic. And here's a pro tip. You can adjust the intensity of the filter by tapping on it. I learned that after being on Visco for a couple of months and that blew my mind, so I just wanted to share that quick tip. Visco, my favorite way to edit photos on the iPhone besides the iOS editor. As far as the dock goes, I usually keep 3 things down there: phone, messages, and then Spotify, and then I rotate out the 4th one. So right now, Safari's in there. Phone, self-explanatory; messages, self-explanatory; Safari, self-explanatory as well; and Spotify, my music player of choice. Let's just jump in and see what I was listening to. Some Deadmau5. Okay, swiping over once. We've got Wells Fargo. I'll jam through these. That's my banking app. Coinbase is where I have my Ethereum and where I can easily see the price of Ethereum and Bitcoin. Bread Wallet is where I have my Bitcoin. I could show you what this looks like. It's still syncing to the blockchain because I haven't had it installed in a while. And if you want to send me Bitcoin, there you go. Authy is a 2-step authentication app. Highly encourage you to have 2-step authentication on for everything. And if you don't know what 2-step authentication does, if you log into, let's say, Facebook, and you enter your password, it'll send you a special PIN to either an app or your phone via a text message as another layer of authentication. So if someone unfortunately gets your password and they don't have access to your phone or one of these authentication apps, then they can't get into your account. Lyft, cheaper version of Uber. Uber is Uber. Periscope, good old Periscope. I think I've done over 1,000 streams in the last 2 years. Shout out to the Periscope fam. Sneakers is how I've taken just about, I think, 100% L rate this year on buying sneakers. The restock on the ones the other day, they did the Royals, the Breads, and the Black Toes. I missed out on all of those. I just want to give Nike my money and they won't take it. And then Dark Sky, the weather app that I showed you before, it's got a great widget. And Sweetgreen, because when I eat salad, for whatever reason, I mean, it's really good, but I'll spend, $10 on a salad, but I really don't do it that frequently. And then over here, swiping more, I don't have anything on a 4th page. It's just all of the default apps that sit at the end because I don't really use them. All right, you've made it to the end of the video. Here's why I'm not on iOS 11 anymore. Quick story. Over July 4th weekend, I was posting on Instagram and Snapchat of me jumping into a pool. The iPhone is pretty much waterproof, water resistant, whatever you want to call it. and I had the bright idea of doing a hands-free Instagram video. I wanted to skip my phone across the pool like you do a rock, and I skipped it long ways across the pool, and out it bounced immediately, and I got a hairline fracture. Like, the screen wasn't shattered by any means, and just a few days ago, my phone fell off the counter and actually landed backside down, not even on the screen, and then the screen was shattered. So I got it replaced, and I was running iOS 11, and the genius at the Apple Store failed to tell me that because I was on beta software, they were definitely going to wipe my phone because they calibrate the iPhones when they replace the screen to make sure the touchscreen is working properly, Force Touch, all that good stuff. And so my phone got wiped. And they asked me if I had a backup, and I actually hadn't backed up my photos and videos. I do that manually, and then whenever I get a new phone, I just sign into iCloud, set up the phone as new, and then all I really have are notes and contacts. Those are the two most important things. I re-download all my apps. It's really not a big deal. It's a way to start fresh every year, and you don't carry all that kind of like virtual garbage that's in old backups. Highly recommend it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what is currently on my iPhone 7 in mid-August 2017. If you have any recommendations of apps that I should check out or know about, or any games that I should be playing, please let me know. I'm always looking for the new. And of course, if you enjoy this video and you aren't in the Chef Squad yet, please leave it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. I will see you in the next one.